Which actor could play you?
Ah. Oh, I wish I was as good looking as him, but it'd have to be George Clooney.
Wow.
I think George Clooney is a fabulous actor.
Senza di lui e la sua ex band, gli anni '80 non sarebbero mai stati gli stessi. Anni d'oro, gold per l'appunto. A Tg1 Talks Tony Hadley. Hi Tony, we are very happy to chat with you. Welcome to Tg1 Talks.
Grazie Francesco, thank you, cheers.
You are a truly icon of the 80s as well. So I want to ask you, what remains today of the spirit of those years?
I think people are very nostalgic today. They look back at the past and think, wow, what a great period that was. And I think the 80s was an amazing period. It was an incredible decade for music, for art, for politics, video inventions, world geopolitics. It was quite a defining decade. And I think, on top of that, the music still stands the test of time. Not all of it, but a lot of it still sounds absolutely fantastic, and people still love coming to the concerts, which is fantastic for me.
So, do you think that 80s music can still, speak to new generations?
Yeah, I think so. If you take a song, for instance, Through the Barricades, which is my favorite Spandau Ballet song, I think it's the best song we ever recorded. If you listen to the lyrics, it's very much about love across the divide. It's Romeo and Juliet. And we still live in a very fractured world where from different sides of religion, different sides of sexuality, whatever, you can't come together and be a couple and be joined. And also, if you look at the world at the moment, we're fighting wars all over the planet, and it's dividing people. And what I love about that song, it's about getting together and loving each other. And then also a song like Gold, which is, it's the kind of believe in yourself, always have full faith in what you do.
As you know, after the success of the movie Michael, several Michael Jackson songs returned to the top of the charts. Do you like this kind of film, the so-called biopic, and how would you imagine the one about your life?
I don't mind music biopics. Spandau Ballet did have a film called Soul Boys of the Western World. What I liked about that was that it was very honest, and it was difficult to watch. I couldn't watch it anymore. But I suppose in a way the younger generation are reminded of songs from the past, and then it gets onto TikTok or whatever, and before you know it, they're back in the charts again. But on the one hand, social media is amazing, and on another hand, it can be very, very dangerous. But I suppose in one way, it's good for people to look back at songs from the past and realize how good they were.
Which actor could play you?
Oh, I wish I was as good looking as him, but it'd have to be George Clooney.
Wow.
I think George Clooney is a fabulous actor, but he's also, I think every guy likes George Clooney because he's just such a cool dude. He just looks cool. We don't really look anything like each other. He's a much better looking guy, but I think George Clooney would be great.
Today we know that there wasn't a real rivalry between your former band Spandau Ballet and Duran Duran. You were actually friends. But did you ever come close to recording something together?
Well, funny you should say that. So I was doing a solo album years ago, and I did a series of covers. And one of my favorite all-time songs is Save a Prayer, Duran Duran. I think to this day, I think it's one of the most beautiful songs. And so I wanted to do my own version of Save a Prayer. And I phoned Simon Le Bon up, and he came up to the studio. My late great friend Gary Stevenson was the producer. And he came and did all the backing vocals and harmonies on Save a Prayer. And it's on an album I recorded back in the 90s. And I think it's a great version, and Simon did a fantastic job. Lovely guys.
Can I ask you, what was the most difficult moment in your journey with Spandau Ballet and why?
How many do you want?
Just one.
Just one. I think that the most difficult part was the end, when we got to the point. There was an album that we made called Heart Like a Sky, awful title, and the atmosphere in the studio was just awful, and that for me was the most difficult part of being in Spandau Ballet, because you could feel the whole band was breaking up, the friendship was kind of melting away, and it was just I mean, I cannot listen to that album to this day. That was a very, very hard album to make. So that was probably my most difficult time in Spandau. Yeah, definitely.
Tony, do you believe in reunions? Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Well, Spandau have had two. So we had our first one in 2009, 2010. After much deliberation, after nearly 20 years, we finally buried the hatchet and we got back together. And we had a successful tour. And then we toured again in 2014, 2015. We did a year. I did a year and a half. We had the film out and everything else. And unfortunately, it all went wrong again. The wheels came off. And then in 2017, I quit the band for good. For reasons I'm not going to explain now, but it just got to the point where I thought this is not going to work anymore, which is a shame, because I thought it would be an ideal situation to go off and do our solo, albums, whatever, and then come back every 4 or 5 years and do a Spandau tour. But in the end, my position was untenable, and so I quit the band.
During your live shows, you perform a Queen song, "Somebody to Love," and
well, we do several Queen songs. I mean, so let me explain the background to that. So,
okay,
when I was a young guy, I got to know Queen and Freddie, and he was just the loveliest man. Not only is an amazing performer and singer, but he was just a really lovely man. And as a young singer, he gave me quite a lot of advice about performing on stage and the way you should behave and react to the audience and everything. And one of the things he said to me is that, it's your job as the front man. You have to control the situation. It doesn't matter if you're tired or you've got flu, you've got a cold. You're the front man. You're the one that people tend to look towards. And I thought that was the most brilliant advice. And so therefore, I've always loved Freddie. One of the few people to have performed on stage with Queen in Auckland, New Zealand. And so
It was 1985.
Yeah, 1985, yeah. And we did Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah.
Both me and Freddie were very drunk in front of 40,000 people. And neither of us could completely remember the words. So it was, going to the party at the county jail, hot shiver, cup of tea, bahooda.
But it's a shame that you never recorded an original song together.
Yeah, that would have been great. But I mean, but going back to the question, so it could be We Are the Champions. If we're doing festivals, we might do Champions, Radio Gaga, Somebody to Love, a crazy little thing called Love. And I think one of the songs we're going to work on next is Tie Your Mother Down, which is, I love Tie Your Mother Down. So we always do a Queen song because I love Freddie and I love Queen.
And in 1985, you took part in Live Aid.
So I think what was amazing about it is that a bunch of pop people came together, recorded Band Aid. The same happened in America. And the two plates collided, and here we were with Live Aid in London, Philadelphia, and Australia, and all over the world. There were concerts celebrating music and trying to help the people in Africa and Ethiopia. And it was amazing. I mean, there we were. I was 24, 25, just turned 25, and I'm backstage with David Bowie, Paul McCartney, Phil Collins, all my heroes, Queen. It was incredible, and it was an amazing achievement, because back in 1985, technology was not what it is today. So it really was a feat of technical engineering and an amazing day. Changed the world, really did.
So, Tony, 80s was great music, but also legendary parties. I mean, the nights at the famous Blitz Club, but also with the people like Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Depeche Mode,
Yeah.
Duran Duran. Who was the wildest of them all?
The wildest, wow. John Keeble from Spandau was pretty wild at times. I have to say, he was the rock and roller. He really was. The Frankie Goes to Hollywood guys were not so much Holly, but the other guys in the band were big party animals. Billy Idol, he was always great fun for a night out. And also one night I went out with Julian Lennon in Los Angeles and Lemmy from Motorhead. And we went to see The Damned in The Damned, the band, the punk band in LA. And wow, that was a night. Lemmy was something else. He really was. But we had some great parties with Duran as well. We had some good fun times with those guys too.
It's funny to think that Boy George used to work at the entrance of the Blitz Club.
Yeah, but he worked. How it worked was it was basically a small. It was a wine bar during the day, and then I think it was on a Tuesday night it became the Blitz Club, and Steve Strange and Rusty Egan were running it. So Steve Strange would be on the door, and he would say, "No, you can come in. No, you don't look good." So he would literally turn people away. Boy George was in the cloakroom taking people's coats and hats and stuff. So he was there. But I remember, I've mentioned it many times before, but when Steve Strange turned away Mick Jagger, and I said, "What the hell were you talking about? You turned away Mick Jagger. I want to meet Mick Jagger, you know." And Steve was very discerning. If you didn't have the right clothes, you didn't get in.
But have you ever escaped from a party, from a situation, I don't know, too crazy or uncomfortable?
Oh yeah, God, yeah, many times.
For instance?
I mean, well, I've never taken any drugs. I'm very, very anti-drugs. We have a culture, I don't know about in Italy, but certainly in the UK, when it's, sort of people doing cocaine and things like that. And I just find it obscene. I hate it. And there's been a few instances where I was in a situation where people were taking lots of drugs, especially cocaine. And I thought, I don't like this. I want to get away from it. So I just leave, I mean, people do what they want to do, but what people have to remember is that the cocaine trade, that to get that cocaine on your table on a Friday or Saturday night in one of the home counties in the UK, people have to go through absolute abject misery to get that cocaine to your house. And I'm very, very anti it.
What kind of advice would give you today to the young Tony Hadley of the 80s?
Don't be so trusting. I have a real problem. My mum used to say, my mum's 93 now, bless her, she's doing great. And she used to say to me, not everyone's your friend. So I'm a very kind of gregarious person. So I'm very kind of, hey, come on, let's have a beer. And she said, don't trust everybody. And she was right. I've been too trusting over the years. But to be honest, I am what I am. I can't really change. My wife, Ali, she's absolutely fantastic. And she will say to me sometimes, I wouldn't trust that person if I were you. And you know what? She's right every time.
You always loved David Bowie and Frank Sinatra. And I think it's not a coincidence, because if we could somehow combine their artistic styles, maybe we might get something like New Romantic?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, David Bowie, I doesn't think gets enough credit. I mean, I've been a massive Bowie fan for years, and I met him, and he's a lovely, lovely man. He doesn't get enough credit for being an absolutely amazing singer. If you listen to a song like Life on Mars, I mean, that, that note he hits there, it's a bit early for me, but it's incredible. He had a fantastic voice, and Frank Sinatra, well documented. I love Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Jack Jones. And I think you're right. If you brought those two guys together, maybe somewhere in the middle, you'd get that new Romo thing.
Who is your favorite artist today?
A guy that I've been going on about quite a lot, actually, and he's doing well. He doesn't need my help or anything because he's an amazing artist and very successful, is Sam Fender. I'm always looking for good singers. I like good singers or good rock and roll bands. And my whole thing about Sam Fender is you put the record on and you know that it's Sam Fender because he's got a very distinctive voice. I think the songs are great. I think his band is great. And then you've got bands like Wombats and the Foals. They're really cool as well. And I try to keep in touch. My daughter Zara, she tries to keep me in touch with modern music. Olivia Rodriguez, she's great. Olivia Dean, pretty good. A lot of female artists today. There's not so many male artists coming through. We need to see some more male singers coming through, definitely.
Let's talk about your voice. What's the secret?
Well, I was lucky enough when I was I've been singing since I was a kid at primary school. So I was singing in church, sang at the Guildhall in London. And when we formed the band in 1976, I'd already been singing in competitions and stuff like that. and I kind of, if I was going to be a serious singer, I had to take it seriously and take singing lessons. And so I went to see a wonderful Canadian opera singer called Pamela Dodds, wonderful, wonderful lady. And I spent 2 years with her training. I'd go there every week and she'd teach me all the exercises. And she said, look, I don't want to change your voice because you've got a very distinctive, unique voice. But what I want to do is give you the tools to still be able to sing in 40 or 45 years' time. And so that's what she did. And the exercises that I do before the show and after the show are the same ones that I learned when I was about 18.
Can you show us one of these warm-up exercises?
No.
Something you do before going on stage.
It's all about placement. So with the voice, it's all about, it's bel canto basically. But if you listen to Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra, it's all about bel canto. It's about placement of the voice in your sort of the lower part of your body, and it's all about the column of air, and it's one of them you go ha 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 ha. So it's all about pushing your voice down, and it works. I'm lucky that I can still sing the songs in the same key as I did when I was 20. So I'm very lucky.
You know, Tony, I think that people appreciate not only your music, your voice, your elegance, but also your human side. You are a great star, but you are a family man too. And you became recently a grandfather.
Yeah, Freddie, he's just literally had his first birthday.
He's happy birthday. So
thank you. I'm very lucky. I've got 5 beautiful children. My wife, Ali, she's there for me all the time because I'm pretty useless most of the time, but she's there and she's fantastic. And my kids are all brilliant. And Freddie is just the icing on the cake. He's the most gorgeous little fella. We all love him so much. And, you know, listen, my life I've been up there, I've been down, but at the end of the day, I'm very lucky. And what counts more than anything is friends and family. I've got so many friends and so many people, big family. And so I'm very, very lucky.
And we are looking forward to seeing you here in Italy again with several shows. You always had a special connection with Italian audiences, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because in the early days of Spandau Ballet, I remember that we weren't connecting with the Italian audience. I mean, we were kind of more of a synth-paced, almost kind of a bit punky, really, in our approach. And I don't think that connected at the beginning with the Italian people. But then when we released, I remember Alfredo from RCA Records, he said, "One day you will be big in Italy." It's like, okay. And it was I'll Fly For You that was the record that really broke us through to the Italian audience. Because I suppose in a way it's a very melodic, it's a kind of a big medium-sized ballad. That's a contradiction. So it's a quite a big ballad, yeah. So so that was the one that broke us through.
Tony, now let's watch together a video and then we keep talking, okay?
Okay, no worries. All right, brilliant.
Spandau Ballet.
Gli Spandau Ballet.
Gli Spandau Ballet!
I'll give you all my time. That's everything to me.
Everybody, we gotta fight for ourselves. Everybody, we gotta fight for ourselves. I want you to be saved. Grazie.
Tony, do you remember everything about your appearances in Sanremo?
No. Most of it was a blur. I mean, I have to say, Sanremo, when Spandau did it with Duran Duran, was, I mean, people still talk about it today, as we are. And it was crazy. I mean, you know, we look at the Beatles and we always think, oh, what was it like to be in the Beatles? When Spandau and Duran were in Sanremo, that was kind of what it was like to be in the Beatles. It was the most crazy, crazy, crazy time, but exciting. I mean, you know, we were young lads and we were having a time of our lives, and it was great fun. We partied hard, we played hard. It was great fun.
We have a surprise for you because an Italian friend of yours has sent us a video message to greet you and to ask you a question. Would you like to watch it together?
Ciao Tony, è passato un bel po' di tempo dalla nostra collaborazione su Goodbye Malinconia, ma io ho bellissimi ricordi legati a quel periodo. Ricordo che io e Carlo Rossi ti aspettavamo al Transeuropa Studio, non vedevamo l'ora che tu arrivassi, e quando sei arrivato ci hai travolto con la tua simpatia e soprattutto con la tua professionalità, perché dovete sapere che Tony Hadley davanti al microfono non ne sbaglia una, ha una voce intonatissima e potente, e tutte le take che avevamo registrato erano perfette, quindi non avevamo che l'imbarazzo della scelta. Poi abbiamo condiviso un po' di cose, un po' di situazioni, un po' di palchi, anche il 1° maggio a Roma. Insomma, ripenso sempre con molto piacere a questa nostra collaborazione. Dovrei farti una domanda, ma non vorrei fartene una a sfondo musicale, a tema musicale. Vista la mia passione per i fumetti, cambio completamente strada e ti chiedo se nella tua vita è entrato il fumetto, se hai, e se nel caso questo fosse accaduto, se hai degli autori inglesi che ti hanno particolarmente colpito. Tutto qui. Intanto ti saluto e ti abbraccio.
Grazie a Caparezza. Thanks to Caparezza, you know him very well.
Caparezza, he's such a lovely, lovely man. He really is. We collaborated on Malinconia, and he was an absolute joy to work with, and I've met him since, and he's just a lovely, lovely man. And I love his music as well. His music is amazing, and even though I can't quite understand some of the lyrics, I know they're quite political, and they've got a lot of rich depth to them. But he's an incredible artist and a lovely, lovely man.
And Tony, his question is about comics. If you love, like him, comics, have you a favorite comic book artist?
Comic book artist? Ooh, I'll tell you what I used to, well, when I was a kid, you probably wouldn't, and we're talking about comic books, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. As a kid, I used to like there was a comic called Buster, and Beano, very English comics. And then also there was a comic called 2000 AD with Judge Dredd. That was brilliant. Love that. And also Viz. We love Viz as well. Me and my band guys, the Fabulous TH band, we love Viz.
So, Tony, the final 3 questions of our podcast. Very, very short, very fast. If you could be reborn, who would you like to be?
Frank Sinatra.
Okay. This is very funny. Did you ever send anyone to hell? And if so, who?
Probably every dictator that's existed in the world.
The last one, the greatest regret and the one dream you still want to achieve.
I don't have any regrets. I just wish I hadn't made so many mistakes. What do I want to do? I'd love to be in a Hollywood blockbuster film. Yes.
Which one? James Bond?
Oh, James Bond would be, but just a small part in James Bond would be amazing. I want to be a villain as well.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. Really nice. Thank you. Great talking to you. Grazie mille. Grazie. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you very much. Grazie. Ciao.